Peter, I've been motivated in life by the mind-body problem in terms of what is the human mind, what is consciousness. I did a PhD in neuroscience, not that that helped any on that question. And in recent years, we see coming out, particularly of Silicon Valley, an assumption that it is just an engineering problem to be able to get to the point where we can upload our first-person consciousness to non-biological media and effectively live forever in a conscious state, living forever, at least as far as, at least beyond our physical bodies. To me, it's a great probe of the nature of consciousness to ask, is that possible? Not as an engineering problem where you assume it's possible, but to ask, is that possible in principle? Where do you stand on the possibility of virtual immortality?
Upload. It's interesting. As if there was something in there that you could move.
Well, you can move the patterns of your brain, all the details.
It's as if you could move a pattern.
Yeah.
You can copy a pattern.
Yeah.
But of course, if you can copy a pattern, you can copy it into two places. Yeah. Let's say we copy the patterns in your brain. First of all, then the brain is still there. And you have to wonder, wait, isn't that Robert still sitting there? Well, let's suppose, though, that you are dying and it's right in your last moments. So that gets rid of the old Robert. But then we've got the two uploads. They may fall into, one of them may fall into the hands of your friends, the other of your enemies. One puts them in a virtual hell, one in a virtual heaven. If you knew that this was going to happen, what would you look forward to? You can't split like that. There has to be one that's you, but neither one of them would be you, because there's as good reason to say that one of them is you as the other. There would be an asymmetry without an explanation if one of them was you. But they're not both you, and then it can't be that one of them is you, so the only other alternative is none of them is you, which means that you simply ceased to exist. Well, you could say, of course, you might be lucky and they will only copy you once. But that would mean then somebody could say, I'm lucky I survived. Of course, if they had made another copy of me, I wouldn't exist now. Or maybe I'd exist, but I am that person, but I wouldn't be, I am Robert who died, but I wouldn't be Robert who died if they made another copy. That's a modal impossibility. I think that his identity is necessary. And if you are identical with that person, you will be identical with that person in all possible worlds. So I don't think that, logically speaking, the possibility of copying patterns in your brain into something else gets you any kind of immortality at all. What it might get you with proper engineering is a really wonderful memorial. Something that, your family, you could we could put you in a computer screen and you could talk to your family and everything through it, or maybe even we can make an android and that will duplicate your appearance, and it will be just like having Robert back. But that's what it'll be, just like having Robert back. It won't be having Robert back.
Does that imply that there's something about Robert now or Peter now that is not included in those brain patterns, that there's something residual?
Well, I think what Robert is a biological organism, a member of the species Homo sapiens, a thing shaped like a statue of a human being.
Well, I mean, you can put the pattern into something exactly the same.
Yes, and you can put it into two things.
Yes.
And but you can't put the organism is the organism it is. I mean, I only have one laptop, right? Of course, my laptop could be copied into two different laptops, but they wouldn't be it. They'd be two other computers.
Right. Sure. But assuming our first person inner sentience of my feeling that I'm me and I know what it's doing, assuming that is 100% physical, if that were 100% physical, I don't see any possibility of that not being reproducible. Even
of course, it's reproducible. The point is, reproducing it is copying it, and copying doesn't preserve identity.
Right. And so when I take that same argument to people who really believe in this, the argument that I get back most of the time is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So
yeah, well, I'll tell you what. If you buy in, let's take not you, but one of those guys that buy into it.
Yeah.
He is going to go down into the big dark, the infinite non-existence, and there will be somebody created who thinks I was right. I still exist.
Right.
But he will be wrong. He's only existed for a few seconds. He's a new guy, and the old guy is gone forever.
I 100% agree with you, but here's the problem. I'm not sure why. I 100% agree with that, and the duplication problem, I think, is a knockdown argument on that. But why? Why?
Why is it a knockdown argument?
No. It is a knockdown, and I accept that it's a knockdown. The question is why is it? What is it about the human consciousness, the first-person experience, that can't be reproduced and that we're unable to move this if it's 100% physical? I mean,
well, why don't you ask the same question about the computer? Here we've got two.
Because the computer doesn't have this inner sense of I. It's a philosophical issue that it's a different thing. I agree with that. But we're talking about transferring or transporting or moving or copying the inner sense of feeling. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, well.
Not a description of whether.
So when you use the word I, what do you think you refer to?
It's not using the word I, because all these duplicates will use the word I.
No, I mean now, when you're talking about when you're considering undergoing this procedure. Right now, when you use the word I, what are you referring to?
Okay, well, I'd be referring to my inner sense of awareness.
Why don't you use the phrase my inner sense of awareness to refer to your inner sense of awareness and use I to refer to this biological organism?
Okay, I'm okay with that. And
well, you're not going to transfer this biological organism into another biological organism.
I don't care about that. If I can transfer my inner sense of first-person experience, you can put me into a chair.
But you can't transfer it. You can only copy it.
And the question is why?
Why? Because how can you transfer one painting into another painting, into another canvas? You can, of course, copy it onto another canvas, but you can't transfer the painting. The painting is a physical object. It stays where it is. You can make another that's a perfect duplicate of it, in principle.
The issue comes down to what is this inner sense of personal awareness? What is that? Is that
and I don't agree that's what it comes down to. To me, what it comes down to is when I use the word I, I'm referring to this living organism here. And no other living organism, no matter how, you can copy into its brain what's the patterns that are in this brain, but that's just going to be another living organism. That's going to be someone else.
I agree, but you can call it someone else, but if that other someone else has the same internal first-person experience that I do, then that's what I want.
That's what you want.
I don't care what you call it.
Well, we've got the two of them then. One goes to virtual heaven, one goes to virtual hell. What are you looking forward to?
To me, it's an absolute mystery. how this this situation. Because it's not a question of the I of the body, of the logical distinction between two different things. It is the question of the existence or non-existence of my inner awareness that I know as I, that wakes up in the morning and groggy-eyed or whatever, that I have this inner sense of self. And even if I had 10 others,
So you do, but this inner sense of self is referring to this living organism here.
it is referring to it now. It doesn't have to, as long as I have that inner sense of self.
I think it does have to. That is, the other will have a duplicate inner sense of self, but it won't. That'll be somebody else with a duplicate inner sense of self. It won't be you.
It won't be my body. And if it has the same sense of sense, then I don't know, we fractionalize, or I have two at the same time. I mean,
Well, I mean, my inner sense of self is not the name of an object. The object here is this biological organism.
I don't care about that.
Well, yeah, but that's saying I don't care about myself, because that's what you are. I mean, I'm sorry that the universe is organized this way, but if you're a materialist, you think everything is a material object. Therefore, when you talk about my inner sense of self, you're not talking about something that exists. You are, over there, you're not referring to something that exists. The thing that you're talking about is this living organism here, and you're saying it has an inner sense of self. Fine. But it would still exist if it lost that inner sense of self. That inner sense of self can't be transferred to another organism. It can only be copied.